During this episode, we will discuss XRP, its price, and our plans for the cryptocurrency. As the year draws to a close in boron BlackRock, a considerable quantity of money, or more precisely, Tether that has not yet been deployed, is being printed. Nevertheless, what does that imply to you individuals? In what kinds of settings do you suppose that it will be utilized? Let me take care of everything for you, so don't worry about it. Maintain your composure and make yourself comfortable. The Bitcoin 56778 is something that we should look at. This is the 6th day in a row that it has decreased by 69%. 2,325th place is held by Ethereum. XRP is a primary lane 53 cryptocurrency with a market cap of $2 trillion and $1 billion on the total cryptocurrency market, which is currently in a state of drift. It has decreased by 1.7% for both USDT and USDC, and it is currently at 99 cents. The fact that you are floating gives you an advantage because you are already aware of what will take place once we locate a new base. However, it does propel Bitcoin into space, and I believe that this is what is going to happen in the future. It appears to be happening in the way that I had imagined it would. Initially, I had the assumption that there would be a lead. Considering that it has not yet taken place, it would appear that the election season is the most likely time for it to take place. An important thing to keep in mind is that you should keep an eye on XRP since, in most cases, the price will go up in anticipation of positive news about a month before the actual event. Will that turn out to be the case this time? Whenever you come across headlines such as these, you are aware that time is genuinely running out, and you will ultimately be aware of this fact. Ripple is being offered for acquisition by Elon Musk at a price of $483 per share. But this information is not accurate. This fake news is not something that people believe. That is not the case, and you shouldn't be either. This is a fake account, so you should follow it. This is not really happening at all. The fact that he would purchase XRP at a price of $4,813 per XRP when he could easily purchase it from the market for 53 cents is completely incomprehensible. He could make an announcement after purchasing as much XRP as he desired at a price of 53 cents, and then he could do so. This is not something that he has ever stated, and he has never said anything that is similar to this. Instead of doing that, they are clever enough to place these minor gifts underneath it. This is because the cost of fake news would grow as a result. As a result of the fact that they draw attention in the event that you are unable to hold your NFT, we have sold approximately 100 of them so far this month, which is approximately halfway through. This is a massive amount, especially if you are a fan of Fortnite. You are free to move forward at this time. I'm talking about the ones from Fortnite here. There is a 30% return on XRP for Fortnite Pride tiers each and every month. In the event that we have returned more than 1 million XRP in credit cards or XRP is accepted, the higher the number of points that we have returned. Some examples of pieces are provided below. This means that the more XRP you have, the more you will receive back. You do not know which of the tiers you will obtain from the ones you need to spend money on to win. It is possible that you will be handed either a rare or a common one. It's possible that you'll get an epic card, but that will depend on the quantity. A non-fiction book, since you never know when you might need to take a chance behind the wheel. The previous spin mechanism was utilized, and then this was applied solely to individuals. The Bitcoin Exchange Traded Fund ETF received more than $17 million in cash yesterday. Following the events of yesterday, the markets are starting to show signs of improvement, and they are getting ready for a parabolic rush to get that shove. Putting an end to reading tales about how the market is empty is recommended. After performing this little lateral movement, which I have named after the person who remembers the videos, we then return to the video on demand. This is not a market, and it is not a bear market. It occurs if they have something. Take a look at the videos right now. As soon as we observe some downward pressure and movement, I informed you of the direction in which the markets will move. When the bull or bear market came to an end and we entered the bear market, there was a small chop zone where we would stall out and people would start shouting and kicking. Due to the fact that I mentioned that not every currency will generate profits, the prices of cryptocurrencies will not increase. People are going to start looking for the shady currencies that the TR network has just seemed to be. When you think about it, that is just their sadistic network. As a result of the fact that they are distracting, this is taking place. This particular form of pricing movement, as we like to refer to it, is getting ready to provide this item the quantity that is considered to be token. Although this has been printed and is currently sitting about waiting to be injected into Bitcoin, nobody has expressed their criticism of the situation. Regarding this matter, there is no discussion taking place regarding the quantity of Tether that has been printed and is presently being held in advance. In addition, it has not yet joined the markets for cryptocurrencies. But why aren't they discussing it with each other? If it isn't on everyone's mind, why is that? Isn't that the thing that you ought to be keeping an eye on in order to keep track of Tether? Conduct an investigation into the amount of Ether that has not been accounted for. Tether is still in the process of being deployed, and if retail sells the top of the market to institutions, then it will be deployed into Bitcoin. Your fondest desires will never come true because I will never retail sell the top to institutions that you are interested in learning about, but I have something special in store for you here. How come? In spite of the fact that they purchase the top spots, the institutions never lose because they have the ability to select who wins and who loses by increasing the amount of capital they employ to raise prices and attract more of their huge customers to the markets. In addition to the stock markets, cryptocurrency markets, and other markets, they have the authority to manage how these markets function. It really is that straightforward, but there is still all that is waiting for us on the sidelines. To quote, the price of Magnus drops by 10%. It would have been great if they had mentioned or dealt with cryptocurrency the day before. As Trump is as a result of the fact that everyone requires it, Harris avoids debating it throughout the debates. We already know that Trump is a proponent of cryptocurrency, that he is enthusiastic about it, and that he is a huge fan of his NFTs. This is something that we already know. We need to know what the US's plans for cryptocurrencies are, and if we want to see this crazy parabolic bull run that takes us past the $10 trillion area with a potential BL blow-off parabolic peak at $18 to $23 trillion, we need to make sure that we have a presidential candidate. However, Harris continues to wobble and avoid answering the issue, despite the fact that we are aware that he was at the Bitcoin conference preaching about cryptocurrency and how much he wants to make the United States the leader in these new markets. I should emphasize that you should make sure that our president is still in office. This is a pro-cryptocurrency stance because if we have someone in the office who is not, we are in a terrible position. Pay attention to the harm that Gary Gensler has brought about in these markets. In these days, he is the one who guided us into being. Add this to the overall timetable and proceed with the cryptography. You are aware that because of the Stellar Conference, Ripple has staves that have become inflated. There was a ripple in reality that they sensed Marion. Frac is going to acquire Anthony Pomano as its payments partner, which is going to be a really interesting development. According to the announcement made by CAYB, all of this is taking place at the Stellar Conference. From this point on, we are only going to continue to ascend. Observed, but I am afraid that he is probably right. At the moment, people are so afraid that they won't buy people who are thinking, but if we go lower, I might be able to buy more of them. They do not take into account the alternative, which is the question of what would happen if we did not go down. I would like to emphasize the significance of dollar cost averaging for those individuals who continue to purchase cryptocurrency. This is because as we move higher, you will increase the amount that you purchase. This is something that I have been doing on Mondays for more than 20-something months now. Both Casper and I were there. I make the transition to Quat as soon as Quat gets together. It is my intention to leave Quat and move into another asset by the time DCA arrives. I am conscious of it. According to our projections, these markets will expand by a minimum of $3 trillion. It is my opinion that each and every asset will reach their highest point ever recorded. There is a large opportunity for profit to be realized from the year 2020, and if I compare the current price movement to the all-time highs from that year, I will not be disappointed. XRP is worth 4 times as much if I can dollar cost it. The duration of the average on these assets may vary, but it will be for an extra 3 to 4 months. There is no need for you to be concerned about timing the markets. It's possible that this is not how it works. In spite of the fact that it's only a month, I'm going to be doing better in this game. You might be able to make some adjustments to the timing in a market that is completely devoid of activity, but these things are ready to explode. Whenever we come upon this grayscale, we find ourselves wondering why we just bought 41 million individual Bitcoins. A positive move on the part of Grayscale is the company's decision to invest $41 million in Bitcoin. This is a positive outlook. We're climbing to an even greater height. It's completely absurd. The price of Bitcoin is currently at $56,000, and its goals range from $150,000 to $250,000. As of right now, it is reaching $56,000. The total profit on Bitcoin is $6.2 billion, which is higher than the profit that BlackRock made in 2012, which was $5.5 billion. There is still the possibility of making a profit on Bitcoin. It is important to note, however, that this raises the question of where XRP is now trading. According to what was mentioned earlier, there is often a tiny pump that occurs before the swell. The statement that Ripple would be introducing a stablecoin is going to disseminate bullish emotions across the markets that we are already familiar with, and I believe that this is the most significant announcement that came out of this year's swell event. When it occurs, it is sometimes following swelling that occurred less than a month ago. The opinions that Joel Katz has regarding smart contracts were revealed. A gold-backed stablecoin was addressed, as well as the steps that need to be taken to get one. We are cognizant of the fact that smart contracts are indispensable. Regarding XRP and all of the testing that is taking place among these central banks, we are aware of all of the agreements that Ripple has formed. In the beginning, the Holy Grail consisted of merely getting them onto Ripplenet. On a later date, it will involve convincing people to make use of a digital asset. However, we have not yet seen the widespread implementation of the technology. All of these financial institutions and partners are still involved. Sorry to bother you, but $1,700 is not more than $5. After XRP has begun to demonstrate its utility in the real world, what happens? It will lead to a parabolic rise and a 6% market cap domination similar to what we experienced in 2017 and 2020, which will open the floodgates to at least $6 XRP. When XRP gets popular, the only thing people are seeking for is reaching the 75 cents. It will lead to a market cap dominance of 6%. It is possible that a 53-cent XRP will be issued in this asset class if we achieve 7 to 10 trillion tokens.